This is Pat Soundbites Unplugged. Unplugged. The podcast where all the artists go to tell it as it is. Careers, music, tours, and more. And here's your host, the man that refuses to eat squid, Pat Calamari.
Well, hello, Pat Calamari here, host of Pat Soundbites Unplugged. It is Wednesday, January 29th, 2020, and things just keep on rolling. And as I've been saying, it doesn't get any better than this. Got to talk to the one and only Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick in his car driving into Chicago. Is there anyone out there on stage that looks more, and I mean this in a nice way, goofier, performs more craziness and antics on stage? He's got so many guitars. I think we said maybe 500. He's got that, I don't know, that cartoon character look. You know, that rock pop, but it's got a little bit of a punk edge. You know, Cheap Trick. Been a fan since the beginning. I remember, oh my God, skipping school with a bunch of friends of mine and driving to the Palace Theater in Waterbury, Connecticut. Had to be, I don't know, late 70s. Yeah, had to be like late 70s, somewhere in there. And then like 3 days later, they played right here in New York and pretty much got to see the same show. And it was insane. I mean, it was worth the skipping of the school. Not that I encourage anybody to do that, but that's what was going on the days I was really into going to shows, and it was a fantastic show to see Cheap Trick. It always is. I mean, and you'll hear Rick, this poor guy's been doing interviews for years, and I said, I appreciate him taking the time out. And he says, well, you're the millionth. I'm like, yeah, I'm his millionth interview. So I didn't know what to expect. I've seen interviews and listened to interviews, and Rick could be just, just downright, whatever kind of answers. But he was really good yesterday, and I appreciate that. And I did a lot of research in preparing for this interview. It got canceled twice, but we finally connected, and it was a good chat. Learned a lot about Cheap Trick. Learned a lot about Rick that you're going to hear. Some of the questions. I thought I did a really good job. It was one of my best interviews. Not that any of the others were any worse or maybe better, and you can just feel the enthusiasm in my voice when I talk to these folks. You hear the voice of a fan, because I've been a fan forever, but now in the music world, I also get it, and I have a much better appreciation for these artists that are trying to make a living, continue to make a living, and make a dollar. And Cheap Trick, been touring forever and continues to tour forever. And again, as I said yesterday, if you like what I do, please share. Don't be afraid to put it on your Facebook, your Instagram. Say, listen to my man Pat. He's knocking it out of the park, and there's plenty more interviews to come. I know folks tell me, podcast supposed to be like a weekly thing. You pick a Thursday or a Friday, and you do it once a week. And I don't want to do that. A lot of my interviews are time sensitive. Cheap Trick is playing next week, starting in New York. So why am I going to, I want to get that out there. I want to get my interview out with Dean Castanovo yesterday. I want to get them all out. So you know what? Screw the rules. If there are podcast rules, I don't have one for every day, but I try to do something every day. So we'll see what happens. It's working out good. The numbers are flying. Thank you. I can't thank you all enough for what you do for me. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, because I can't get the smile off my face every time I get off on the phone or off the phone with one of these incredible musicians. I'm jumping for joy. Trust me, I really am. and I look forward to supporting them and promoting them and going to a show and got my fingers crossed to meet these folks and getting them to roll the dice. And hopefully Rick is into rolling the dice. We did it with Robin, and he laughed about it. We did it with Tom, and he chuckled about it. He came close. Needed one more 3 on his final roll, but it didn't happen. But I love Cheap Trick, and I will always continue to play Cheap Trick. So, again, live, love, and laugh a lot. Life is way, way too short. Enjoy your day, and check out my great chat with the one and only Rick Nielsen, a Cheap Trick. WBXO Classic Rock Redefined in conjunction with Pat Soundbites Unplugged podcast. Such an honor to have on our phone today founding member, lead guitarist, backing vocals, primary songwriter of one of the greatest bands in the rock world today, Cheap Trick. We're talking about Mr. Rick Nielsen. Rick, thank you for your time and for this opportunity.
Well, it's you're my millionth interview, so you win the prize.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the 1 million. I love it. Rick, Tom, Robin, and Dak will be performing in the New York area in early February. February 7th at the Palace Theater in Albany. February 11th down at the NYCB Theater in Westbury, Long Island. And on Valentine's Day at the Capitol Theater in Portchester. Rick, you guys were just at the Music Cares concert. You were a headliner at the Grammys celebration after party honoring the winners and the nominees. Would you say, is there any one particular moment in your musical career that you're most proud of?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them. But one was that I got to play with John Lennon.
Oh yeah, definitely. You were involved with, I want to say, Double Fantasy. Is that correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Well, yeah, that would certainly be a big one. Good. I like that. And I know you were just in NAMM in Anaheim, and I know you're a big-time guitar collector. Do you get excited attending the shows to see what's new when it comes to gear and equipment?
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad had a music store when I was growing up in Rockford, Illinois, and so I was always around that stuff, and I used to go to the NAMM shows in the 60s.
Wow.
When it was in Chicago.
Wow.
So, I love all that stuff. Now there's fewer accordions for sale, and there's more. Now my tinnitus got a big workout.
Well, I guess you're up to probably like 400 or 500, and I know I just had the TV on this weekend, and I saw you in the Mecum car auctions bidding on, I want to say, a Getty Lee guitar. I'm sure you want it. Is there any one, I want to ask you, out of all the Hamer guitars that they've done custom made, was there any one primary Rick Nielsen signature guitar that was made available?
Well, I have over 100 Hamers, but probably the one that I'm either known for the 5-neck guitar or the checkerboard Explorer.
Gotcha. That's what I figured. I just didn't know if there was actually one single, but I knew certainly the famous 5-neck and the checkerboard certainly stands out. I want to switch gears a little bit, Rick, as one of the primary songwriters for the group. As the lead guitarist and really not the lead vocalist, there's Robin. Is it much of a challenge for you to write lyrics that you're not the lead singer on? Do you provide the lyrics and then Robin works his magic to these great songs?
Well, I think it's probably more challenging to him than me because, I write what I write. And it's like, but Robin has I think on our first album they said the man with 1,000 voices. Well, he is. He can sing real sweet stuff and he can sing monster stuff. So he's, he interprets it, but we're a good team.
Oh, yeah, I would second that motion. I think you're a great team. Surrender, The Flame, Dream Police, I Want You to Want Me, just to name a couple off the top. Let me ask you, what are the main ingredients needed to make a classic hit? Besides a lot of people buying a lot of records.
You're right. I'm right because I like it. I don't. If I ever tried to write something that I thought everybody else was gonna like, I'm fooling myself. Because like I tell people, it's like when I wrote "I Want You to Want Me," it's like it was kind of like let's do a pop song. I said I wish I could be that stupid more often.
Let's talk about your wonderful albums, with the exception of the debut album and then In Color, Heaven Tonight, and Dream Police, all produced by the amazing Tom Wertman. And then you guys come up with All Shook Up, and you kind of switched gears and got it produced by the incredible Sir George Martin. And I know your moment there before it was John Lennon, and I certainly know you're all Beatle fans because I've had the opportunity to meet all you guys. I've met all you guys, but interviewed Tom a few times. Was there a specific change you were looking for? I mean, you were so successful with Tom, and then you get this opportunity to work with the wonderful George Martin. Was this a label decision, or were you guys looking to just try something different?
Well, this is true. We wanted to get on our first record. We were looking to get John Lennon because he was not active at that time. So,
wow.
and later when we got together with John, about 4 years later, John says, I would have done it.
Ah, jeez.
But we had Jack Douglas on the first record, and Werman, after 3 records, Werman was really picked by the record label. And, he did a fun job. It's like, he made us, I think, more pop sounding than our first record. We're kind of noisy.
Yeah, no, I think he did a great job.
But then George Martin is like, yes, what an honor because he liked us. How about that?
Yeah, to get him to say, oh yeah, I'll work with you guys. I mean, that's a pinch yourself moment.
Well, how about this? We did pre-production in Madison, Wisconsin in February. He and Jeff Emmerich came there and braved the mountains of snow and freezing cold to come see us. I mean, how do you get that?
Wow. And if I read correctly, you attended his memorial. You were like right in the church and right there, right? That was a big thing too.
Yeah. Well, we've remained friends. My wife and I and my friend were invited to his house out in the country, and he and his wife cooked for us, and Giles was there, and the whole thing. And I, at that point, I'd asked him. I said, "We've been asked to do Sgt. Pepper for the Hollywood Bowl Symphony Orchestra," and it's like he said, "Oh yes, of course." And I got the original charts for the orchestra, and he signed it, and then I had him sign it again.
Wow.
So we got his blessing.
What a collector's piece that is. I don't know if the fans are aware, but in '86, you guys released your 9th album, The Doctor, with the single It's Only Love. Great song, great video. But what made it, the music video for It's Only Love made history as the first music video to predominantly use American Sign Language. And I thought, first, I applaud you guys for doing that. And secondly, what was the concept behind, hey, let's do this. Let's be the first ones out there.
Well, it's like, when we first were playing in the clubs and stuff like that, we used to play in Milwaukee, and every whatever nights we played, or Monday night or whatever, we'd have this crowd would come down, and it was the School for the Deaf upstairs, and they liked us because we were so loud. They could feel the music.
Right.
And I thought that was so cool. It's like when we finished the song, they never clapped. But they loved it. It's like, there's a lot of people that are deaf and blind and black and yellow and green and purple and every religion and stuff. So we play for everybody.
Yeah, no, and that, you know what? Good for you guys, and good for picking that up and saying, you know what? Why not? Let's try this. You went over the years in the '90s. You started sporting this mustache, this long braided goatee beard, and the dark glasses, and you had this pretty cool sinister look. And then I think it was Rockford. You cut it off.
Well, I ruined my continuity by screwing that beard.
Were you able to sell? Did you keep the braided the goatee and sell it on eBay, raise some money? Or
I still have it. I thought I was gonna, put it up for auction someday when we get somebody really drunk and they want to buy it and they got a lot of money. Donate the money to good charity.
Excellent. I love it. Well, you got Dak playing. I know Robin's got his son Robin. He's got the music bug. I know I talked to Tom, and Lila is musically inclined. They've done a couple of Christmas albums, I believe. Are we witnessing the next generation of Cheap Trick when you and Tom and Robin maybe pack it in? We got the Cheap Tricksters, would you call them?
Well, I think it's good that we have talented kids. And it's like, I had pneumonia about a year ago, or 2 years ago, and it's like, thank God we had people that could fill in for us. And it's like, when we got Dax, I didn't pick him because I didn't want to be, that's Rick's kid.
Right.
So Tom and Robin, chose him. About 15 years ago, Bunny had his back operated on, and Dax came in, filled in, and did Aerosmith stuff and whatever, and then he went on to work with Dick Dale and a Fine Frenzy, and he went all over with Maroon 5 and all kinds of different stuff. And one day we needed Dax. He was going to Europe the next day, and it's like I said, Robin, Tom, you guys decide. He said, once again, you guys pick. Because we had offers of Dave Grohl, and we had Tommy Lee.
Wow.
And Chad Smith from Chili Peppers. They all offered to help us out, but it's like we needed somebody, a permanent player. And Dax actually knew all the songs. He was actually trained on piano and guitar, and but he actually knows the songs better than we do.
I love watching him on the Instagram and with your grandsons, and he's got them banging on the drums at a young age, and why not, Keeps.
Yeah, well, drive he and his wife crazy, like I did to my parents.
Nothing wrong with that. April 1st, if the fans don't know, every year is Cheap Trick Day in the state of Illinois. And Rick and the guys will be touring with legend Rod Stewart on July 21st, starting in Ohio for 21 dates. You can go to Cheap Trick's website to check out all the dates. Rick, anything to say to all the fans out there after all these years?
Yeah, we're coming up to Canada with the ZZ Top again for a whole month. We're going from East Coast to West Coast, or West Coast to East Coast. I'm not sure which way we go. We're up there. We toured with them last summer, and we just really hit it off pretty well. And so looking forward to that. And we're going all over the place. We're going to Puerto Rico. We're going to all over the place, which we always do. So this is nothing new, but it's something pretty fun.
Wow.
Looking forward to it. Oh, also, my son Dax, my son Miles, and his wife, we have another side group that we're debuting in March. It was called the Nielsen Trust.
Wow.
Yeah, Miles Nielsen. He has a group called Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts. He's a great singer and guitar player, and he got a great band and some really cool songs. So all of us are, like as a family, like we're like the Osbournes, except something else. I don't know.
Well, you let Miles know there's a guy in New York that can play any of his tunes, and I'd love to get a copy of the track and support him, as the theme of my radio show is keeping new music alive on the radio airways. God bless you. Somewhat of a rarity these days, but I enjoy doing it, and I get a chance to meet guys like you. You came out with the album with the Summer Looks Good on You, and what I do, Rick, is I meet you guys, and I have you roll 5 dice, and Robin did it and Tom did it. I haven't had a chance to get with you. Maybe in February in Albany. I have you roll 5 dice, and if you roll a 5 of a kind, totaling in 3 rolls, I play your entire new album, hopefully, on my radio show. So it takes about a minute. I've done it with Alice Cooper, Billy Gibbons, I've done it with, like I said, Robin and Tom. 3 Doors Down. I've done it with everybody. So if you're in the mood to roll the dice and try it out, we'll have a lot of laughs, and it's a lot of fun.
How many of those guys got all 5?
Yeah. No, they're all legit. And actually, the Jesse Triplett of Collective Soul was the first one to actually get total 5 of a kind last June in New Jersey. It was he needed 3 4s on his 3rd roll, and he got it. And you think we won the Super Bowl? And I played their latest album, which was Blood, their 10th album and their 25th anniversary, and had a good time with it. I'm trying just to do my best to keep the new music alive and keep supporting you guys. I know, people are downstreaming this stuff for free, and even with a 5 million downstream, you probably get like 3 cents. So it's ridiculous and crazy. So I'm doing my part, Rick.
I believe in payola. I'll give you the money to get all 5 of you correct.
Well, that works for me. Nah, you don't have to pay me, pal. Just going to see you guys and saying hello and getting a picture with you it puts a big smile on my face. You don't have to pay a single penny. And being your millionth interview, I mean, come on.
Well, that should get me a 5 in a row anyhow.
There you go.
And I don't want to cheat, but I
will. Well, Paul Rogers, he looked at me after the 2nd roll and he said, "Here, turn away for a minute," and he flipped the dice over. I don't know that for a fact, but all of a sudden he had 5 of a kind. So whatever works, Rick.
He's a great singer, so he's a great gambler too.
Well, yeah, he's awesome, and I appreciate his time as much as I appreciate your time. I don't know how you do it. Cheap Trick, always on the road, performed. Well, they say over 5,000 times, probably more than that. Sold over 20 million albums worldwide. You guys are better than ever. I mean, and I really look forward to seeing you in February. I hope you enjoyed the million chat as much as I have, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, we've been saying 5,000 shows for 15 years. It's probably 6,000 now.
Yeah, I was going to say 5,000. After all these years, I go, somebody's miscalculating.
Figure it out.
There you go. Well, Rick, thank you for your time. WBXL Classic Rock Redefined with the wonderful, talented, great Rick Nielsen and Cheap Trick. It doesn't get any better than this.